Welcome back to Game Talk from the Bench. I'm your host, Drew Barreto, and today I'm here with my guest, my uncle Andrew Barreto. And today, round one of the NBA playoffs is wrapping up, and the Houston Rockets force a Game 7 back in Houston. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about some of the series that have wrapped up in the past couple of days. So, um, on Tuesday, day after we shot our last episode, Pistons, they beat the Knicks. They forced a Game 6 back in Detroit. Boston finally eliminated Orlando. Nuggets dominated Clippers to take a 3-2 lead back on Tuesday. Um, Timberwolves on Wednesday they eliminated the Lakers. They won 103-96. LeBron James had a got a grade 2 MCL sprain that game, and now their season is over. But yes, game 6 for the Pistons. Knicks won yesterday, 116-113. Jalen Brunson hit a game-winning shot over Oscar Thompson. And then same thing, Nuggets up 3-2. Clippers come back. They tied the series 3-3. They forced the game 7, which is tomorrow at 4:30. But the big game I want to get to is the game today. The Rockets beat the Warriors pretty pretty good, 115 to 107. But before we get into game 6, I want to talk a little bit about game 7. Game 5. Game 5 heading into the game, obviously, Warriors were up 3-1. They had a comfortable lead and not many rest days were coming up. So obviously, Steve Kerr said depending on how the game would go, depending on if how long the starters would play. Obviously, starting out the game, it looked like the Warriors just did not want to play Game 5 whatsoever. It looked like if they could have, they would have just forfeited the game to take the day off. But yeah, the Rockets just dominated that game. The starters only put up, I believe, 40 points. Yeah, that game was it was just over. But the bench of the Warriors did get them back into the game, forced the Rockets to bring out their starters, but eventually they still overcame, and Rockets won 131 to 116. But today, game 6, big game. It's want to go home for the Rockets again. Obviously, the Warriors a little more well rested, so they didn't play. The starters didn't play that much in game 5, and they came out dead. They felt like they had no energy. And it was a back and forth game most of the game, but it just felt like the crowd wasn't in it, and even the players themselves, they didn't feel like they were 100% in it.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, you could see. Yeah, they went back and forth. It seemed like for at least the first quarter, for sure. Second quarter is when I sat down and started getting this nervous feeling in there, and definitely it just wasn't comfortable enough to feel, or there wasn't a comfortable feeling to feel like that they were going to win today. The defense of the Rockets was unbelievable. They forced almost every single one of the Warriors into bad shots, especially Curry. I think he had 29. I don't have it in front of me, but I think he had 29, but it wasn't like it was like a bad shooting performance, 29. Um,
Yeah, he had 29.
yeah,
Played
and then
42
after
minutes.
Buddy Hield, I don't think scored, and then we were missing a lot of shots. And then, wow, the Rockets on the flip side, Fred Van Vliet, who all of a sudden is this hot shooter who's just lighting it up everywhere. He continued to do what he's been doing, and it just seemed every time the Rockets got the ball, they were just nailing the three or making their shots. When it would go to the Warriors side, not so much. They were having a hard time getting buckets today.
They really did. Like I said, they came out they looked sloppy all game. I mean, to start the game, Draymond got a flagrant one foul on against Jalen Green. But yeah, like I said, I mean, they lost the first quarter 25-21. They were close there, so, and at halftime they were only down 5. They were right in the game, but it was just lousy basketball. I mean, too many turnovers, too many sloppy turnovers when they could have easily got buckets. It looked like a lot of them out there, they looked like they were indecisive. I mean, I saw Brandon Projemski looked like he did knock down a couple threes, but he missed a couple because it looked like he was rushing his jump shot. And he's passing up a couple threes. They passed up a bunch of layups. It looked like, and just trying to chase too many things. I mean, Draymond missed a couple layups because he's trying to get a foul, and it was at the point. It's like you just gotta put the ball in the basket. I mean, they it was frustrating watching. Like you said, you got a little nervousness, and I did too. I felt it in my chest, because I have seen obviously the Warriors aren't in their prime like they were back in 2016, but obviously we've seen them lose it. They lost a 3-1 lead. Obviously, it was in the finals, much bigger stage than the first round, but it does give you this nervous feeling. They're going back in Houston. Obviously, they did win a game in Houston, but they also have gotten dominated twice playing there. But we obviously know what Steph Curry did last time he was away for a game 7. He put up 50 against the Sacramento Kings. But he needs more help. Like you said, Buddy Hield didn't have a point. He played 17 minutes and no points. Gary Payne only had 5. Pajemski only had 10. Moody 13. But just I mean, it's just they didn't play great basketball today. Like I said, expecting them to come out fire after they didn't play much and lost game 5, and especially how game 5 ended with the altercation with Pat Spencer and Alfred Sengun. You thought the Warriors would come out with a little bit of spark in them, but they were behind all game, and
All
the
game, yeah. All
the most
game, all game they were behind and playing catch up, and it was like okay, Curry, got his points. It just wasn't statistically, it wasn't the best shooting night. And then Jimmy Butler was doing his thing. He was getting to the foul line and getting his buckets. And then yeah, there was who else after that? It just wasn't there. Where the Rockets had Adams was just monster on the board, blocking the shots. I think he was in double digits, maybe had like 15 or something like that. And you go down the line of those Rockets players, and they were all productive. It seemed. I know they kept harping on Jalen Green, but when he had to hit a 3-pointer, he hit it. Not every single time, but he
yeah,
was
he
big
got
as well.
timely buckets, but
Timely buckets. There's the word. You took it right out of my mouth. It just seemed whenever Warriors were scratching and crawling for a rebound or a loose ball, it'd end up in the Rockets' hands, and they would nail a three, and that just kept keeping me in my seat, opposed to standing up, yelling at the screen.
I mean, yeah, you're right. There was a 2-point lead. The Rockets had a 2-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and like 5 seconds into the
Yeah.
fourth quarter, Fred VanVleet gets and 1 3. He knocks it down, hits the free throw. And I'm not blaming the officials on the Warriors' loss. The Warriors played terrible, but
Yeah.
sometimes the officiating is questionable. I mean, on that Van Vliet and 1 3, on his follow through, Gary Payton did hit his hand after the ball was
Mhm.
released, but they called the foul because he went to the ground because he kicked his legs for it. But Gary Payton didn't hit his legs, he hit his arm on the follow through, and it's just it's wild to me because I see Curry get clobbered
Yeah.
after he shoots the shot, and it's a lot more contact to Curry. Like I saw Dylan Brooks. Was it I believe it was game 4 or 5. Curry shot a 3, and Dylan Brooks just body checked him after the 3, and no call was fouled. And Fred VanVleet gets hit on the wrist. They call a foul and one. And like I said, I'm not blaming the officials because the Warriors played bad basketball, but sometimes it's frustrating when they're not calling the right stuff. I remember vividly, Steven, they're doing the hack Adams, and Draymond was boxing out Sengun, and Sengun just 2 hands on Draymond's like side body,
Shoulder.
and
Yeah.
just shoves them to the left, gets the rebound, goes up and gets a bucket. And it's like, dude, the officials are right there. Draymond had him fully boxed out. I mean, he's just not getting. It's just the calls. They're just not making enough calls. Almost it seems like they're making sometimes the wrong calls, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, no, it is frustrating. But like you said, this game here, um, it could go both ways. I know the refs they didn't make calls, and I'm not going to put it on that because the Warriors weren't making shots. They weren't
Yeah,
rebounding.
they were
You
I
know,
think 1 for 12 for 3 in that fourth quarter, and yeah, like I
yeah,
said,
yeah, and then and then Van Fleet. I mean, he was just more efficient shooting the threes. He has been the last 3 games,
he's
and
been
yeah,
he's been on fire.
I'm a little, continue to be a little nervous here going into Game 7. I mean, they obviously have the upper hand. They're very confident right now. Their players are, they're getting better as this series is going on, which is scary. So yeah, we'll have to. I know it's Sunday. Game 7 Sunday, and let's see if the experience comes through again over the youth. But so far, the youth is prevailing.
Yeah, like you said, but for me, one thing that I've seen noticed in the first 4 games, a big altercation has happened, right? Something big has happened, and I think that's caused disruption for that Rockets team. I think it gets them off their game mentally, and it's giving the Warriors an upper hand. But game 5 and 6, not much has happened. The Rockets have been playing calm basketball, and they've been dominating. And I'm not saying the Warriors should start something, but they need to do a little bit of like trash talk, get underneath the
Yeah.
skins of those Rocket players, and get them thinking mentally. Because these past, like I said, these past 2 games they just dominated. Because like I said, they've been calm. I mean, like Amon Thompson got in the face of Gary Payton in Game 5, but Dylan Brooks pulled him away and said, "Hey, we don't need that right now." And they played composed the whole game, and that's
Yeah.
why they won. Same thing today. They were composed. They played great game, and they won. And it's like, okay, the Warriors need to do something. They need to find a way to get some fire back. I know they're older. I know they're more veterans, and they're up
Yeah,
there in
they need
age.
they need to get some better looks at the basket too. I mean, get back to passing that ball around for the best shot. I mean, you've seen Curry with multiple turnovers today. I mean, just horrible turnovers too. It's he's being triple teamed, and someone needs to come over and help him out there, because I mean that's on every possession. They constantly freeze the TV on the TV's replay. You can see there's always two, three guys around Curry, and it forces him in to make a bad pass, and doesn't make it, the possession ends, and or the possession, the shot clock is really low, and now you have to force up these bad shots, or even get a 24 called, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, they need to work on spacing and helping Steph when he's getting triple teamed. But yeah, I mean, I have faith in them, like, going back to the drawing board, and working on that, and the coaches will work on that and see what kind of game plan they have Sunday. But yeah,
Yeah,
it won't be easy. It doesn't help when I'm looking real quick. Warriors shot 30% from the 3-point arc today.
yeah, 15 to
Turnovers.
49.
Yeah, they got turnovers. They beat it, and rebounds are behind. Actually, I think they've probably been behind in rebounds all series. I was calling for more Looney to battle with Adams, and I know they had him in there for a little bit, but then it's like, okay, well, if Curry's getting tripled, they're leaving Looney, then who's going to make them pay? And it was really nobody today, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, we that's the thing. This is very competitive West. They're number 2 seed for a reason. I mean, they've been doing is winning games to be in that position, and they a lot of good players on that team. So yeah, they're going to come out. They're very confident right now. A lot of confidence.
Yeah, you're right, and I think Steve Kerr needs to make some big adjustments, especially after how the last 2 games have gone. Like you said, I was also looking for Kevon Looney. You know, Draymond can only do so much, but then they bring in 2 big men. You got to give him some help. Obviously, Quinn Post is a big man, and he can knock down some shots, but defensively, he is a liability. Same with the rebounding wise.
Yeah,
Looney is the best rebounder on the Warriors, and I've probably only seen him play maybe 20 minutes this series, if that. Probably more. I don't have the numbers up on me. But yeah, I mean, if they're having two double big men in, you need Kevon Looney to battle with Steven Adams, because you got to trust him to get the job done. He's done it his whole career. Back in 22, he was putting up 20 rebound games. You know, and they're killing the Warriors on the offensive boards, and that's how they're keeping these leads and such. And I believe Curry's thinking, I can't have Looney on the offensive side. 'Cause, Draymond obviously he can knock down a couple shots, but he's not the greatest scorer, so he feels he probably can't have two non-scorers. But I mean, Rockets. I mean, they're not scoring either way when they had the double big. The Warriors aren't scoring when they have the double big man. I mean, um, Steven Adams has been a shot blocking machine this series. I mean, he's been getting like 3 blocks a game. I mean, I think you got to put Looney and have a big guy down in the post and work from there. And I also think, like I said, he needs to make some adjustments against that zone defense that the Rockets are throwing at the Warriors. But he also needs to make some different substitutions. I don't know if obviously Buddy Hield was big in game 3 and game 4, but
yeah,
I mean, these past couple of games he hasn't been great. I mean, he played 17 minutes, no points. I mean, believe Moses Moody should have gotten more minutes. I mean, I know a guy that I know that hustles and can get you offensive rebounds is Guy Santos, and I think Guy Santos should be getting more minutes this upcoming game. Gary Payton needs to step up too. I mean, he's there for his defense, but his defense wasn't that great today, and offensively he missed a good amount of wide open shots, and Curry needs to figure it out. He needs to make, I believe, more substitutions. I mean, Curry played 42 minutes. I felt like he was in for a long time, and I know they're must-win games, but you need to
Yeah.
give him some timely rest. And yeah, Curry just needs to make some big adjustments if they want to win Game 7.
Yeah, I would guess too that these guys are going to be playing last game of the year for potentially one of the teams. And I think, yeah, you're going to see again 42, 46 minutes or something like that. Very little rest. Um, because yeah, like closing out a team is just difficult in general. But now game 7, it's all in right now. And yeah, we'll see what kind of adjustments they make. They put Post in there to try to offset that. Hopefully, the Post hasn't been making his shots. When he was making his shots, it's all great. They take out their big man because they can't. He's not going to guard him up top by the 3-point line.
Yeah,
And then, but if he's not making his shots, and like you said, if he becomes this liability on defense, defensive rotations, then yeah, then now you got to take him out and possibly play that big man Looney game. So we'll see. I mean, see what they come up with. But yeah, no, it's exciting. You have 2 game 7s. I don't know if they're both Sunday, but
no, the Clippers and Nuggets play tomorrow.
yeah,
But
okay.
yeah, like you said, yeah, they need. I think they need to play Kevon Looney Game 7 if they want to win. He could battle against Sengun, he could battle against Adams. Um, but I'm blanking on what I was gonna say. But yeah, they just need more production from the other guys. I mean, Pajemski put up 26 in Game 4. He was huge. Buddy Hield was putting up like 15 plus in Games 3 and 4. They just need more production off their bench. They need to get Curry more help. But they also, I don't know if they could sustain the hack of Adams
Yeah.
because he's making free throws. I mean, he shot, I
Yeah.
believe, 13. He was 7 to 13.
Yeah.
And if he's making them, Ime Udoka's not going to take him out. And he doesn't. And the thing about Steven Adams is he's like the perfect backup center.
And he didn't
He
take him out today. He didn't take
exactly he
him
didn't
out.
take him
Yeah.
out, and the Warriors,
He's like hack them all you want. I mean, they built a 15-point lead down the
yeah,
stretch. It's just like with them doing that with plenty of time, with like 4 minutes left. I mean, keep hacking him, and he was making his free throws.
yeah,
And
he was making the free throws, and like I said, he's the perfect backup center. He grabs rebounds, he doesn't foul, and he plays good defense.
yeah,
And so it's tough, but the Warriors might need a pivot. I mean, they just got to play better defense and box out more. Like I said, they're gonna need Kevon Looney, and they're gonna need him in a big way. Hopefully on both sides. Have him set on ball screens for Curry, roll to the basket, kick out. But they just need more guys to knock down shots, and the Warriors need to be less decisive offensively, and they need to stop panicking against that zone because they're getting good looks and they're getting open baskets. They're just thinking too much about it and they're passing them up. I mean, Doris Burke, she was pretty annoying to hear for the first half, but she said some valid points in the second half. She said the Warriors are passing up buckets for threes, but they need to get these buckets. And then she also brought up another point. I can't remember about what it was, but she was right on it. And I said, you know what, Doris, good to hear you speaking some straight facts because in the first half you were just speaking a lot of nonsense. But it's but yeah, and she was
I zoned them out, man. I did hear her say that, hey, there's nothing wrong with 2-pointers or something like that, which
yeah.
is true. And I was thinking that in my
Especially
head, she
at the
was like,
point they were down 15 with like 5 minutes left. It's like
yeah,
the like Pajemski is passing up layups to get Jimmy Butler a three, and it's like Jimmy
3, yeah,
Butler is not a 3-point shooter. He
yeah.
can knock maybe one or two down a game, but that's not his game. Pajemski he needed to take those free throws. I felt like Moody sometimes would pass up threes. But sometimes it looks like they pass up too many threes. And I know these guys can knock down threes. I know Moody's a great 3-point
Yeah,
shooter. Pajemski's a great 3-point shooter, but they're just passing up.
it was desperation. That's what it
Yeah,
was. They were just like trying to come back in a flurry like they've done before in the past. But yeah, that's just not the case. Not against this defense. That's um, it, we've seen it happen, but it's just not today, not tonight, anyways. And winner of Sunday's game gets the Timberwolves. But yeah, I know we talked a lot of Warriors, but we forgot to mention the Timberwolves and their big victory. And I know
yeah.
we've talked
We
about yeah, we talked about guys who are, what was that, overrated.
oh
We've
yeah,
talked about the,
yeah.
okay, Rudy Gobert was
But
a top one or two,
yeah,
but he
Rudy
came
Gobert,
through.
he had a great game, 27 points, 24 rebounds, but I don't want to give him all the credit in the world. I want to put that blame on JJ Redick. I don't know what JJ thought of not putting in a 7 foot guy, especially when Rudy Gobert was putting up 10 less points every game for the past
Yeah.
the first 4 games, and then he decided, you know what, let's not play my 7 foot big man, and let's see what happens. And even like during like halftime, he didn't even try to make the adjustment of putting in Jackson Hayes. He just let the Lakers team get destroyed by Gobert. I mean, there's no one taller than 6'9" out there. Rudy Gobert is 7'2", 7'3". He was just dominating on the boards. He was just putting back shots. He was knocking down free throws, and he had a big game. He was the reason why they won. Anthony Edwards was 0 from 11 on three that game. He didn't play that great. Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle were in foul trouble. But yeah, Rudy Gobert was the main reason they won that game on Wednesday, and is the reason they're moving on to the next round.
Yeah, I was laughing when I saw that it was a Rudy Gobert themed win, right? And I go, hey, we were just, maybe he was listening to our pod and he heard us talk about how we think he's overrated, and he's, what does he get? 10 rebounds a game and that's it. 5 points, 10 rebounds. And then he goes out and eliminates the Lakers all by himself. So I thought it was funny when I saw that. I want to bring it up before we forget. But yeah, they're obviously, they moved on and they're waiting for, on our side here, Warriors Rocket. Who's it going to be?
Yeah, I forget. I can't remember if it was halftime or after the game. Did you see Shaq talking about Rudy Gobert and
No.
his dominance? He was like trying to give Rudy Gobert a compliment, but he was like doing like a fake throw up because he was like he couldn't believe the words that were coming out of his mouth. But yeah,
Oh wow, yeah.
Rudy Gobert stepped up big. But I mean, he should have. No one out, like I said, no one else out there was six
Yeah.
nine or tall.
I
He
thought
should have had
about
a
this,
big game.
and we are like, oh no, man, if we're going to talk about it, we got to give him some credit. I know he just gets
Yeah,
bashed and choked by Draymond, and he's on highlight reels for point guards, passing him up, twirling him around, and he's a two-time defender of the defensive player of the year, right? I mean,
4 times,
how many?
4 times.
4 times?
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay.
he probably only deserved to win two, but he's won it 4 times. But yeah, like you said, he had a big game. Was the biggest reason why they won that game. He stepped up, especially when their superstars
Yeah.
didn't. And now they're moving on. Like you said, they get the Warriors and the Rockets. I believe the next series will be great either way. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, if the Rockets do eliminate the Warriors, I'll be rooting for the T Wolves. Because Anthony Edwards is, man, that kid is he's something special.
Yeah, they're already talking about, like, it was funny that they're talking about he's eliminating all these oldie guys,
He
the
eliminated
Kevin Durant's, the LeBron James,
Jokic.
is he the guy? Is he next? And they
Yeah,
kind of be brewing it that way, right? Like he's going to be the next guy. So we'll see if this is the step he takes forward to get closer to the finals. It's just tough in the West. I mean, either
and
way,
it,
he's still got the Thunder are just a team all around, and the Timberwolves got a good team too. We've talked about that before. I
they
like
do.
their team.
They got a really good depth. And they can control their foul trouble. I mean, they have a good chance to come out of the West. They're a great team. They're getting a lot of rest right now. They've had what they last played Wednesday. Game one of the first round won't be till I believe next like Tuesday, so they're gonna have almost a week off. They're gonna be fresh legs to play, like I said, whoever the Warriors or Rockets. So we'll just wait and see. I mean, I'm hoping, like I said, if the Warriors do get eliminated, I hope the T Wolves are the team to win it all. Because, like I said, I believe Anthony Edwards is that guy. I believe he's probably the next face of the NBA. I mean, he's got all the check marks. He's a superstar player. He can make big time plays, and he's got a highlight. He's the highlight reel, walking highlight reel. I mean, the kid is just special.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal, and he's got a lot of great highlight reels, and he's got the shoe deals, the commercials, you know the cockiness, and he backs it
Yeah,
up, so
yeah.
yeah, no, I like him. He's a good player. So yeah, it'd be exciting. Well, I'm glad he's still in it. I know they were out early last year than what they were expecting. Made a couple of trades and some free agent signings and whatnot, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, and then we got the East, right? I'm looking at this the playoff bracket right now. Yeah, I don't know. Is that just what do you think about those matchups, those two matchups? Cavaliers, Pacers, Knicks, Celtics.
Um, I don't know. I mean, the Pacers have been playing good ball, but I mean, the Cavaliers are the number one seed. They dominated the Heat in 4 games for a reason. I don't know. It's going to be tough for the Pacers. I mean, they could. I think they can win 2 games, if that. Otherwise, I believe the Cavs moving on. Now, the Knicks Celtics on the other hand is a little bit different. I felt like the Knicks struggled a lot against the Pistons. Obviously
Yeah,
the Pistons played great. Obviously I felt like they should have gone to Game 7. They should have. The Pistons should have got, I believe it was Game 4 to tie the series 2-2, but they got a little unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, the Celtics team's amazing, but the Knicks do have a great starting lineup. Brunson, Hart, Bridges, Anunoby, and Towns. But if they're gonna want to win that series, they need every single one of those guys to step up, including the guys off the bench like Cam Payne, Mitchell Robinson. So it's gonna take a lot for the Knicks team to beat the Celtics. So the Celtics are a great team, well rounded. But that series, Knicks Celtics will be interesting to say the
yeah.
least.
They're right now for game one. It looks like Boston's favorite by 8.5 points, and then the Cavs are favored over the Pacers by 7.5. So those are already some pretty big spreads there of who Vegas thinks is going to win the for game one, anyways. But yeah, I almost think like the 1 and 2 seeds there are going to just eventually just handle
M-
their series and move on and
Make each
battle it.
other, yeah.
Yeah, meet each other, battle it out, and
That'd
we'll
be nice
see.
to see though. Hopefully they go to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals. But
Yeah,
who do you think's winning tomorrow? Nuggets, Clippers. It's been back and forth. There's been dominant games from both teams. So
yeah, and the Clippers are they're the home team on that one.
no, the Nuggets. They'll be in Denver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, those guys, yeah, they've been really battling it out. I'm going with the Clippers. I mean, I don't want to, but but
Yeah,
I, I just think that unless the Nuggets stop, their hot shooting that the Clippers have had lately, um, I think they pull it out. It'll be close again. All their games have been close, buzzer beaters and uh,
yeah,
whatever it may be. Yeah, and that one there, Denver's favored by only 1.5, so they're feeling like, ooh, this is going to be. We don't really know right now
yeah,
who's going to take. We'll give it to Denver because they're probably they're the home team, so we'll give them 1.5. Um, but yeah, no, there's still good basketball. It's only getting better. It's getting harder. So um, yeah, it's exciting.
yeah. I believe the Clippers will win tomorrow. They just gotta stop beating themselves up. They give themselves costly turnovers and fouls, which leads to the Nuggets, just taking advantage of it all and then building a huge lead, and then the Clippers are fighting back. But I believe if the Clippers can limit their costly turnovers, they will come out and win Game 7. Um, but yeah, I believe that will be all for today. Thank you all for tuning in. I would like to thank my guest, my uncle, for joining me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Comment your thoughts on what we say. Comment your thoughts on what you guys want us to talk about. Don't forget we're on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Um, and until next time, stay ready.